swinging away at each other. They might not hear the bell. There it is. And finally, it's all over. Golovkin thinks he's done enough. And I'm sure that many people back home will agree.
Good fight, really was. High-paced all the time, and that's what you get with Golovkin. He's constantly on you all the time. And for the early rounds, you tend to think that Canelo was coping with the pace, coping with the pressure, and you know, you thought maybe he's not a robot. He's landing some fantastic shots, but you also thought he would start fast and fade. He never faded. But Golovkin never faded. That was the problem, and he started to find his range there in the second half. And for me,
do you know what it
was
looked
a few
like,
points up.
To Golovkin tonight, that looked like a guy who has waited so long for this, and he was not going to let this opportunity go.
And people say he's one-dimensional, and at times he can be, but there's an intelligence sometimes hidden in that work.
Well, you arguably could have given Canelo the last two. I gave him the first two, but otherwise, I feel Golovkin's won it wide.
Golovkin's won by a few points, I think, but look, some of the work that Alvarez did was the standout stuff. When he let his hands go in combinations, it was flashy, solid work. But look at that flare from Golovkin. A solid right hand there, and he just don't lay you off the hook. Constantly throwing shots, constantly on you.
Do it again?
Oh, I'd like to see it.
Whatever the result.
I don't know whether he'd want it again. I mean, no, if he wins, I don't think he'll want it again. If you don't get a decision, then maybe he will want it.
I think he'd fight anyone. Canelo. He would have fought 2 years ago.
That was a hard fight. But listen, the chins. No, we all knew both their chins have stood the test of time. They've been tremendous, and against their biggest tests, again, they proved sturdy enough.
Great response for Triple G as his face has been beamed up on the big screens around this arena. He's had his support through this fight week. Ever since he appeared on HBO with that knockout performance against Gregor Proxo, some 5 or 6 years ago, and then that knockout run that had HBO fans clamouring stateside for the big fights, and still he bowled them over. Back-to-back performances, though, by the distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards after 12 rounds of boxing. Adelaide Bird scores it 118 to 110 for Canelo.
Whoa!
Dave Moretti scores it 115-113 for Triple G. And Don Trella scores it 114-114, a three-way split.
Draw.
This is officially a draw.
Well, after all of that, Golovkin can't believe it. I don't really either. Goes Canelo, shaking his head.
This fight was the saviour of boxing, and it was a tremendous fight to watch. The only thing we didn't want was a draw. We didn't want a draw. We wanted a clear winner. And listen, whatever you thought it was, I think the one judge, 118-110, for either fighter was ridiculous. But for me, for Canelo to be 118-110, I just can't see it. I really can't. But a great fight to watch. I think we will have to see it again. No, it's impossible not to.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah, they're shrugging too, the fans. They can't quite believe it. We'll try and get you some reaction here, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of that. But would you believe it? After all the talk, the wait, and then that pulsating affair, we have a draw.
Well, you're back with Jim Rosenthal, with Amir Khan, with Gary Lockett and Steve Lillis in London. Of course, we'll go back to Vegas as soon as any of the interviews come up.